Okay, can I just be really honest with you guys for a second? Like, let's pour a cup of tea, get cozy on the couch, and have a talk that I really wish that someone had had with me and my friends when we were younger. So, I have to tell you something that might sting a little bit, but it comes from the deepest, most caring part of my heart. Love on its own is not enough to make a marriage last. I know, I know. It sounds so cynical, but and that's the last thing I want to be. But anyone who tells you that the feeling of being in love is all you need is, I think, maybe forgetting what it takes to build a life with another human being day in and day out. That incredible, dizzying, can't eat, can't sleep feeling of falling in love, it's magical. It's the spark, but it's the wood, but it isn't the wood that will keep the fire burning through the long, cold nights of a lifetime together. A feeling, just by its nature, comes and goes. It's like a tide. And if that feeling is the only thing your marriage is built on, it's going to feel like the ground is constantly shifting beneath you the first time a real storm hits. And trust me, the storms will come. I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to empower you. Your choice of a life partner will impact your happiness and your peace of mind more than anything else, more than your career, where you live, anything. It's the biggest decision you will ever make. To walk into it armed with nothing but a feeling isn't romantic. It's just really, really risky and stupid. There are some foundational, non-negotiable qualities that your partner has to have. These aren't preferences like if they're tall or leave their socks on the floor. These are core pillars. If they're missing even one of these three, I am telling you with every fiber of my being, please, please do not marry them, please. So let's get into it. The first one, and honestly, the one you can't build anything without, is unwavering integrity. Now, when I say integrity, I'm not just talking about like the big obvious stuff like cheating. That is the bare minimum. That's just like basic human decency. I'm talking about something much deeper, something that's woven into who they are. Integrity is when someone's private world and public world match up. What they think, what they say, and what they do are all coming from the same place. There are no secret versions of them. What you see is what you get. Think of it like this. You can have the most beautiful blueprints for a house, the perfect Pinterest board, right? But if you build it on a foundation of sand, it's worthless. The first storm, the first little earthquake, and the whole thing crumbles. A partner without integrity is that shifting, unreliable ground. You can't ever feel truly safe, babe. So, how do you spot this? It's never in the big, grand gestures. It's in 1,000 tiny little everyday moments. So you have to pay attention. Does your partner keep their word about the small things? If they say they'll call after their meeting, do they? Or are you always left kind of wondering? At my job as a nurse, I see these tiny moments of integrity all the time. A family member says they'll be there at the first OB visit to be with their wife and see their new baby, and they show up at the end of the appointment when I'm wrapping everything up. And then sometimes they say they'll be there and then they just aren't. And I see the look on these mamas' faces, and it's like a tiny little crack in their feeling of being safe and cared for. Someone who is careless with their word in the small things will be careless with it in the big things. Listen to how they talk about people when they're not in the room. Do they gossip? Do they talk about their friends or their family with respect, even when they're annoyed? Someone who tears others down in private will eventually tear you down. Their character is who they are all the time, not just when they're trying to impress you. And maybe, most importantly, how do they handle the truth when it's hard? When they mess up? is their first instinct to hide it or bend the truth or blame someone else? Or do they have the courage to just own it and say, you know what, I messed up and I'm so sorry? A person who can't be honest when they're at fault will turn you into a detective in your own home. And trust me, the only trench coat you should be wearing is a chic, fashionable one you bought on sale, okay? Not an emotional one where you have to investigate every area of your own life. Marrying someone without this deep integrity is choosing to live in a state of a low-grade anxiety forever. You will never be able to fully rest. Trust is the oxygen in a relationship, and without it, everything suffocates. Okay, so if the integrity is the solid ground that you're building on, the second quality is the engine that actually helps you navigate the journey of life together. This one is so important. And the emotional intelligence is so much more than just being nice. It's a skill. I think of it as the ability to understand your own internal weather patterns and to be able to kind of sit with someone else in their weather without immediately needing to fix it or run away. This isn't a bonus feature in a partner, it is a whole operating system. I mean, let's be real. Marriage is just two imperfect people with all their own baggage and triggers and past hurts trying to build one life. Disagreements aren't just a possibility, they are a certainty. You will hurt each other's feelings, a lot of the time by accident. The success of your marriage won't be because you never fight, it will be because you know how to repair things afterward. A partner with emotional intelligence knows how to do this. So when you're upset, they don't immediately get it defensive or say, you're being too sensitive. They can just sit with you in the discomfort. They can breathe, they can listen to actually understand where you're coming from, not just to reload their own argument. They can say, okay, help me get it. Why did that hurt? This one is really personal for me because for a long time I was so bad at this. I'd either get completely overwhelmed and just shut down, or my anxiety would start spinning all of these stories and it would make me go into a spiral. Learning to just stay in the room, stay in the conversation, and really listen, it changed everything. A partner who can't do this will escalate every little conflict. They'll use criticism or sarcasm, or even worse, they'll just shut down and give you the silent treatment. This amazing researcher, Dr. John Gottman, calls this stonewalling. And being in a relationship with someone who is emotionally unintelligent is so, so lonely. You feel like you're going crazy. You bring up something that hurt you and suddenly you're the one apologizing. You try to connect and they just pull away. After a while, you just stop trying. You start swallowing your feelings because trying to talk about them is just too painful and pointless. And you might be sharing a bed, but you feel completely and utterly alone. But a partner with emotional intelligence, they are a safe place. You know you can bring your messy, complicated, real self to them and you'll be met with understanding. They have the humility to say they're sorry and the grace to forgive you. That ability to repair is the superpower. You come out of a hard conversation feeling more seen and more connected than you ever did before. That's the engine that you can power a marriage for 50 years. Without it, you're going to run out of gas. Okay, so you have the solid foundation of integrity and you have the engine of emotional intelligence. The last piece is knowing you're both actually trying to get to the same place. The third non-negotiable is a genuine shared vision. So this is the one that gets ignored the most in the first kind of intoxicating haze of love. It's easy to think, oh, the details don't matter, we're in love. But later eventually becomes now. And you can wake up one day married to someone you love deeply, but realize you want fundamentally different lives. A shared vision isn't about liking the same music or pizza toppings. It's about being on the same page with the big life-defining stuff. Imagine you and your partner get into a rowboat. The boat is perfectly built. That's integrity. You both know how to row and sink. That's the emotional intelligence. But if you're rowing with all your might towards the North Shore and they're rowing with all their might towards the South Shore, what happens? You're going to be spinning in circles. You go nowhere. You just get exhausted and frustrated and start to resent the person rowing against you. What does this look like in real life? It's your core values. Do you agree on the role of faith or spirituality in your life? That's a huge one. What about money? Is it a tool for security and saving, or is it for experiences and living in the moment? There is no right answer, but you need to have the same answer. What about family? Do you both actually want kids? And if you do, what are your philosophies on raising them? Those aren't minor details. That's the whole project of your next 20 years. What about your careers? Do you support each other's dreams? Where do you want to live? Do you want the quiet of a house with a little garden, or do you want this chaotic, amazing energy of a city? When you don't have a shared vision, your marriage becomes a constant, exhausting negotiation. Someone always feels like they're giving up a piece of their soul. You start to feel like your partner isn't your teammate, but the main op standing between you and the life you secretly dream of. And that is a special kind of agony, to love someone so much, but realize you're rowing in opposite directions. So, please, please, please have the brave, honest, and sometimes awkward conversations. Look past the romance of this exact moment and ask, are we dreaming the same dream? Are we rowing in the same direction? If the answer is no, love won't be enough to keep you from spinning in those circles. Okay, so those are the 3 things that for me are the absolute non-negotiables. But I am not the expert on all things, and this is a huge, important conversation. So I would be so, so grateful to hear from you. What is the one quality that you would add to this list? What is your personal non-negotiable for a life partner? Please share your wisdom in the comments. I read them and everyone in this community learns from them. So really, thank you for sharing. So there you have it. Unwavering integrity is the safe ground beneath your feet. Deep emotional intelligence is the engine that helps you navigate the journey. And a genuinely shared vision is the compass that makes sure that you're headed to the same destination together. Look, no one is perfect. I'm not. You're not. And the person you fall in love won't be either. We're all just messy humans doing our best. But these 3 things aren't about perfection. They're about the foundation. Looking for these qualities isn't cynical. It is an act of profound self-respect. It's an act of wisdom. It's honoring the fact that you are choosing the co-creator of your one wild and precious life. My hope for you is that you find a love that is not only passionate, but also peaceful. A partner who is not just your lover, but your most trusted friend. A relationship that feels like coming home. Please don't settle for the intoxicating feeling of love at the expense of the things that actually allow that love to last a lifetime. You deserve to build your house on a rock. If this resonated with you today, it would mean so much if you gave this video a like and subscribe for more conversations like this. And if you know someone who's wrestling with this big decision, maybe share this with them. It might be the little bit of clarity that they're looking for. Thank you for being here and for your time.